Hello friends, welcome to a new episode of Drishti IAS editorial analysis. In this editorial analysis, we do three things. First of all, we link the editorial to the UPSC syllabus. Secondly, we try to understand the key points of the editorial. And thirdly, if any key concepts have come in the editorial and are important from exam point of view, we also discuss that. So let us begin today's editorial analysis.
Dear viewer, this video is available in Hindi as well. If you wish to watch it, please visit our Hindi YouTube channel, Drishti IAS. For your convenience, the link for this video in Hindi has been provided in the description below.
We have taken today's editorial from the Hindu and it has appeared on 2nd of July. The title of the editorial is Lax on Safety, and it says that deadly industrial accidents point to the low priority that laws and protocols get in India. Now let us look at its linkage with the syllabus. So we find that it links directly with GS paper 3, where we have disaster management. So after establishing the link with the syllabus, now let us look at the key points of the editorial. Before moving on to the key points of the editorial, let us understand what the issue is all about. So yesterday there was a blast at a boiler in NLC India Limited at Neyveli. So here we should have an idea of the place where this accident has taken place. So here in this Tamil Nadu map, you can see that the Neyveli thermal power station is at this place. And in this particular incident, 6 workers were killed and 17 workers were injured. And this was due to a blast in the boiler. And the unfortunate part is that this was the second accident in less than 2 months at the same power station. And this points to serious lapse in safety protocols. Because on May 7th, a similar boiler explosion had taken place and it had resulted in the death of 5 persons. Now this power station in Tamil Nadu, it has 7 units of 210 megawatts each, comprising a total of 1470 megawatt. So such a big power plant should have proper safety protocols, but these two incidents show that maybe there is some lacuna in the safety protocols being followed in the power plant. The second incident is of a toxic chemical leak at a pharmaceutical plant in Visakhapatnam. Here in Andhra Pradesh map, we can see the location of Visakhapatnam. So whenever such places are in news, one should always look them up on Atlas. And this toxic chemical leak has also led to 2 deaths. And the chemical in question is benzimidazole. It is highly toxic but a stable compound. And here also we should know that earlier in Visakhapatnam area only, styrene gas leak had happened at a company called LG Polymers factory, and that was a much bigger incident. But the frequency of such accidents in India show that industrial safety needs to be the first and foremost priority of the management as well as of the government. So after having this background, now let us look at the key points of the editorial. So the editorial says that deadly industrial accidents point to the low priority that the laws and safety protocols are getting in industries across India. And these 2 deadly industrial disasters in Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh, leading to the loss of at least 8 lives and causing serious injuries, in many ways highlight the value of safety protocols, how safety protocols must be essential to the functioning of any industrial enterprise. An editorial says that what happened in Neyveli especially is inexplicable. That means it is difficult to explain because the power producer had encountered a boiler furnace blowout only on May 7th, leading to 5 deaths, and had ordered a review of its infrastructure and processes. And on top of that incident, another incident leading to further loss of lives shows that there are serious lapses of safety in the power plant. And the editorial says that without meticulous care, boilers are a dangerous piece of equipment. They work under high pressure and use superheated steam, and both of these make for a lethal combination if their release mechanism is not kept in good order, and this may result in an explosion. An editorial says that for this very reason they are regulated strictly under the Indian Boilers Act. So we have an act called Indian Boilers Act. But editorial says that it is being followed only on paper and not in practice, as these recent explosions have shown. And the editorial also points to the Rae Bareli incident which happened 3 years ago when a blast at an NTPC power plant killed a few dozen people. And the editorial also says that the states have clearly not internalized a culture of zero tolerance to boiler accidents, which is how it should be. For industrial safety, we have to have a culture of zero tolerance, that there cannot be any compromise on safety part. The other incident of gas leak in Visakhapatnam involved benzimidazole, a chemical used in pharmaceuticals industry. And that also raises questions on maintenance and operational procedures, because this compound benzimidazole is stable but acutely toxic, and how it escaped should be found out through an inquiry. And there should also be an upgrade of the safety protocols as well as safety audit done to find out where the loopholes are. Also, the editorial says that especially in the Neyveli incident, there is a suggestion that the boiler was not in operation as it was undergoing maintenance and was in the process of being revived. So, editorial says that the NLC India, the company which is running that thermal power plant, has an obligation to present a transparent report on why its facilities are beset by such mishaps. Further, the editorial says that occupational safety demands that the boilers are operated by trained personnel, but it has come to notice that some of those on the ground have been described as contract employees. An editorial suggests that an independent probe should be ordered to determine whether cost calculations guided staffing decisions in such hazardous sector. So, was there any kind of cost cutting involved, and was the work assigned to people who were not trained to work on these boilers? All these points should be investigated through an independent inquiry. Finally, the editorial says that the response of the center and states to industrial accidents in India is usually to stem public outrage by announcing compensation for victims. And this is just like putting a price tag to the lives of the individuals, which is not right. And this continues till the next big accident happens. Because politicians also realize that public memory is short and this culture needs to change. A transparent inquiry that leads to fixing of responsibility and reforms is a low priority, which it should not be. At the end, the editorial says that such accidents are mostly preventable and occur rarely in the industrialized world because of impeccable attention to safety. And it says that India's aspirations to industrialize should be founded on safety. If India has to become an industrial power, then India cannot treat safety as an afterthought. It has to come first and foremost. So these were all in the key points of the editorial. Now let us look at some key concepts. So first of all, let us look at what is a boiler. A boiler is simply an enclosed vessel which boils water and ultimately turns it into steam, which is used for heating of rooms and heavy fuel oils on the ships. The purpose can vary, but simply the mechanism which is involved in a boiler is heating of water to generate steam. And then that steam is used for various purposes. And boilers are of basically two types: smoke tube boiler, which is also called a donkey boiler, and WTB, which is water tube boiler or a high pressure boiler. Now the Indian Boilers Act 1923, this was enacted with the objective to provide mainly for the safety of life and property of persons from the danger of explosions of steam boilers and for achieving uniformity in registration and inspection during operation and maintenance of boilers in India. Now what are its salient features? So every boiler owner is required to make an application to the Chief Inspector of Boilers for the inspection of the boiler along with the Prezi Challan of the requisite fees as per requirement of the Indian Boilers Act 1923. And under this Act, this Indian Boilers Regulation 1950 has been framed, which deals with the materials, procedure and inspection techniques to be adopted for the manufacture of boilers and boiler mountings and fittings. The boilers are also casually visited by the inspectorate from time to time to check the validity of their certificates, safe and efficient operation. But obviously, this needs to be done on more strict basis, and the onus for maintenance of boilers remains with the management of the organization where they are being used. And there should be strict penalty if they are not being maintained properly. Now let us look at the MC Mehta case and principle of strict liability. Whenever we talk of industrial disasters or industrial accidents, this case is very important. Now in this case, the Supreme Court had found strict liability principle inadequate to protect citizens' rights and replaced it with the absolute liability principle. So we should know what is strict liability and what is absolute liability and what is the difference. So in case of strict liability, a party or a company is not liable and need not pay compensation if a hazardous substance escapes its premises by accident or by an act of God, among other circumstances. Whereas in the case of absolute liability principle, a party or a company in a hazardous industry cannot claim any exemption. It has to mandatorily pay compensation whether or not the disaster was caused by its negligence. So in case of strict liability, there is an escape route for the company or the management. But in case of absolute liability, there is no escape. And this judgment had come in the famous oleum gas leak case of Delhi in 1986, popularly known as MC Mehta case. And in this particular case, oleum gas had leaked from a fertilizer plant of Shriram Food and Fertilizers Limited at Delhi, causing injuries to several people. And the court had taken this decision that for hazardous industry, absolute liability principle will apply. And even National Green Tribunal has incorporated absolute liability principle. So this was all in the key concepts. Now let us look at what kind of questions can be asked in prelims and mains. So in prelims, the question can be on boiler. So one should be knowing about the mechanism of boiler, that basically it is used to heat water to produce steam, and this steam is used for various purposes. Also, one should be aware about the MC Mehta case and the principle of absolute liability. Also, location based questions can be asked. So where these accidents have taken place, one should be aware about the location. And especially in the gas leak case, the chemical involved should also be known to you. And here a question can also be asked on the various chemicals or gases which have leaked. For example, in the LG Polymers case, styrene gas had leaked. So one should be knowing about these. If we talk about mains, then a question can be asked on industrial safety. What are the challenges and what steps need to be taken, and what steps have been taken by the government in recent times to ensure industrial safety. So this was all in today's editorial analysis. We'll see you next time with another editorial. Thank you.